What's up everyone? So today I will be progressing on my Celica build. The next thing I've got going on for it is I got to get my transmission converted from an SMG bell housing to a manual bell housing. I could run the SMG, it's just a little bit too much work to get everything to go and be proper. So it'd be easier to just be regular H pattern. The transmission I'm using is the E46 M3 Getrag 420G 6-speed. Again, it's the SMG sequential. It was the cheapest option. The 6 speeds are running about 8 to 10 grand now. I picked this up for about $1,000. So first thing we're gonna do is I already drained the fluid out of there. You can see it's pretty crusty. Next, we'll take all the bolts out of here, and then the sensors, clutch fork, and then pop it off and see what it looks like. So I'm going to start with these bolts because we can always take the sensors off with the bell housing separated. It's got a bunch of 13 millimeters. Honestly, I didn't count it. This 13 mil is right by the fill plug, so it's easier to just take the fill plug out and then you can wrap it off. So we'll take these out. Alright, so I got all the bolts out. It's just so you're aware, they are all the same length, so you don't need to worry about getting them all jumbled up. And they are all Loctited. These suckers are on there. Now with the bolts out, we can go ahead and start smacking the case and separate it. Alright, so as you can see, I just pounded it with a Diplo hammer. It got the bell housing right up. I did put up a little bit of a fight. I mean, it's RTV or gasket stuff in there, keeping it sealed. Which is a good thing because, you know, it wasn't leaking. It is now. But yeah, so this is what it looks like on the inside. This is a little bearing right there. I want to make sure that these guys don't fall out. Fortunately for me, I have a hole in my table, so I was able to put the tail housing in, make it sound or stand straight up, easy peasy. For us, we're also gonna have to remove this tube. The one that we're getting, they don't want this on there, so we'll have to transfer that over. Not that big of a deal. Removed the clutch fork already. But yeah, this is the bell housing, and then this is the inside. So with these bell housings being the SMG, there's basically no spring or anything in here to give you the feel of the H pattern and it being gated. So they basically drill through here and put in some springs and a sleeve to put a spring over here and give it some feel, and allows you to do an actual proper H pattern shifting on this. It's pretty simple in theory. Doing the actual machining work is kind of where it gets difficult. But yeah, and then you got your bearing, and then another little bearing over here. But yeah, so this is what it looks like. We'll go ahead and get this swapped out, and then I'll show you how to put it back on. Alright, so we got the new bell housing in. So this one you can see is pretty drastically different. There's a spring going along here, and then two pieces over here as well to hold everything in place, and then also a stopper threaded through there to keep this from going anywhere. This will give it that H pattern feel, opposed to the SMG. You can't feel any of the gates. But yeah, other than that, we'll just put some RTV on this, make a nice thin bead, and then slap it on here and she'll be good to go. So it's now reassembled, everything but the guide tube in here, just because I'm a little lazy and it's sitting up high. Bell housing's on, sensors are back in. These are all torqued. You see the RTV coming out. I'll go back and wipe that up. It's not really coming out too much, so not that big of a deal. So now we'll move on down here. This is the shifter. So now you can see it's in neutral. If I move it that way, that's a 5 and 6, 3 and 4, and then, see if I can do this one hand, 1 and 2. And then, alright, so gate for 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6, and then all the way to the left is reverse. So you can now put it into each gear just like a regular manual. Pretty cool upgrade since the 420Gs. The actual 6-speeds are now between 8 to 10 grand, and you can pick these up for about $1,000 to $1,500. Good condition. Mine had about 80,000 miles on it, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Easy peasy.